The ShakeUp. Streaming live in the ShakeUp mobile app and online at www.theshakeupam.com.
YFN Lucci, key to the streets. It is the ShakeUp. I am Alex the Great.
Yours truly, MJ. And we have a special guest in the building, Kimberly Smedley, reality TV star, author, and motivational speaker.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank
That's
you
a lot
for
of
having
titles.
Me. Well,
yeah,
she left off one very important
entrepreneur.
One. Absolutely.
There we go.
Definitely.
And that's the one that makes, I guess that makes the difference, right?
It definitely does because it sums everything else up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so I was doing some reading about you, and of course I've read about you before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a while. So
Okay.
I just followed the news, but
And you just now having me on. That's a shame.
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna blame myself, but I probably have a little bit to do with it.
Okay.
I keep my hands in the mix.
Okay.
But,
Gotcha.
But I'm really intrigued to hear more about this show that you're on. But first, for people that don't know you, let's just start from the beginning. So tell me a little bit about who Kimberly Smedley is, and what would be if you met somebody off the street and they didn't know who you were, what would you say?
I would say that I am a woman that wears many hats. I've definitely gone through some obstacles in my life, and I am the person that has taken the necessary steps to turn my life around. With that being said, I guess you kind of want to hear the backstory. Is that what you want to hear?
What obstacles have you had to overcome?
I think.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I want to hear that, but I also I think everybody has a story.
Yeah.
And I think life is not really life. You're living a really boring life if you don't go through anything. So things happen and everybody deals with them differently. I'm intrigued by your story because it's like a story of resilience and proof that you can keep going.
Yeah, that's so true. And that's what I like to when you say motivational speaker, that's truly what I do is I just share my story and let women or men too know how you can fall and get back up, because that's my story in a nutshell. After living my past life, I did a lot of things, and one of the things that I did that landed me into prison was actually, I'm known for the silicone injections. Am I proud of that? No, not now, but was it something that I did? It absolutely was. And at the time that I was involved in that lifestyle, I actually felt like I was helping women to feel better about themselves. And when I look at some of the women that I have impacted, it's quite a few celebrities that are involved, and I look at how their lives are going, and it really did make a difference. And me being somebody that received the injections as well, I knew how it felt to not have something that you always wanted. Like, I never had a butt until I reached my 30s, and so when I got it, I was just so excited, and so then I started doing the silicone injections, and I did it for about 13 years before I actually caught a federal case and ended up going to prison for almost 2 years.
How did you get involved in that lifestyle?
I'm a cosmetologist by trade, and so I used to work in a salon with a gay guy, and he actually used to do a lot of the injections in the transgender community, because that's where people don't know, but that's really where the silicone injection started, was in the transgender community, because back in the early 80s, all the way up until probably like 2000 or whatever, it was unheard of for a man that was trying to make the transition to go to a plastic surgeon and receive butt enhancement, hip enhancements, cheeks. So they would always go the black market route. So I actually learned from a gay guy.
So you said something that was really interesting to me, though, like when you were talking about how you got into it, and you were helping people that wanted something that they never had before.
Yes.
I think that's a different way of looking at it, because I didn't really consider that people go through like things that they've never had, they wanted, and they will go pretty much to any lengths to get what they want, and you were kind of providing that. So you were like the solution for people. Maybe they couldn't, because I don't even know how much does it cost to get
butt inject
go to a doctor and get like plastic. Is it plastic surgery that you would get?
It's cosmetic surgery. So what happens is, of course, when I started in 1999, it was still, they were not doing like the Brazilian butt lifts. It had not made it to the U.S. yet. So I was the one that they would come to if they could not receive, if they didn't have a butt, then I was the person that would give it to them. And then once it did hit the Brazilian butt lifts, I was still the person, like someone that was a size 2, 4, or 6, or something that did not have fat to have removed from one part of their body to be injected into their butt. I was still that person they would come to, because if they had no way of removing fat, then they would come and see me for the injections.
Okay.
And all your clients were aware that you weren't licensed.
That I was not licensed or anything, but it goes to show you, out of desperation, what someone will do, because I myself received the injections from the guy that taught me, and he did hair.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I did the same thing.
So break it down for me, because I feel like I get it. I totally get it. Like, this is something they've never had. This is something that they want. Right. So how does one have that conversation?
Do you have a consultation first? How do they contact you? Do you go through a consultation and then
Absolutely.
So the whole nine, the whole process.
The whole thing was just based on people referring people to me, because it was definitely underground. So when they would contact me, the first thing we would do is meet and have a consultation, and I would tell them, make sure you do your due diligence. I'm not licensed, and then we would just kind of.
Did you ever give them a disclosure form? Like, did they have to sign any paperwork with you?
Paperwork was a paper trail. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. So you don't want to really keep up with that.
No, people would say, do you have pictures? Absolutely not. I don't have pictures.
So were you ever worried about, like, if something would happen? Any side effects happening to these girls from what you did?
Absolutely. I was definitely concerned about that, because here's the thing, even to this day, no one knows the long-term side effects.
Exactly.
Like me, myself now, I have issues with arthritis in my knees, and I often wonder, like, well, dang, did this come from maybe receiving the injections?
Right.
But there's no way to really tell. And there are some people that say they don't have any issues. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, up until the time I actually caught my case, it was a federal case. Until the day I walked into prison, I actually felt like I had not done anything wrong.
Really?
Like, why am I going to prison? All I did was help women, and so it was.
Well, and I think not to cut you off, but I think that
not to cut you off while I'm cutting you off.
Yeah, but I do it anyway. I think thinking about it from that standpoint, I'm helping these people. They've consented.
Yeah.
So that was like really your mentality, like
yeah, it really
because
was.
Honestly, when I look like just looking at your story, I feel like some people would think that you just did it for the money, and just
part of it was
because you did make a lot of money from it. So I know a lot of people will automatically think that. Before hearing you actually say, like, in your head, you didn't really think that you were doing something wrong. You were really trying to help these females.
Yeah, because I was not that person that would over inject. Like, I'm just not gonna give you a huge ridiculous butt just because you said you want it. I was that person that would actually cut women off and turn the money away once I felt like they had enough, because my mentality was, okay, girl, it's cute now, but what are you gonna do when you can't dance anymore? What are you gonna do when you're older? And listen, I will continue to use myself as the prime example. I'm 50 years old now.
And
so for me, I know.
Tell.
Thank you so much. So for me, even now with a big butt, I'm like, dang, I wish my butt was not this big, because, I can't wear the little cute dresses. Everything I wear has to stretch, or not to mention the fact that when I go out with my kids sometimes and I got my jeans on and fitted shirt, they're like, Mom, you need to go take that off. So, you don't think about those things. So when I was doing the injections, I was the one that would say, okay, girl, you've gotten enough now. Don't come back. But then there's a certain group of people that would not come back to me, but then they would go to someone else and end up messed up, dealing with a lot of issues.
When it happens, is it just one session, or do they have to come back for multiple sessions?
You come back until you get to the size you want to be. Like, it depends on where you start, like, what your physique is.
Okay.
And then where you're trying to go. So
is it instant, or does it take?
It's instant, but you don't go from here. You don't go from flat to having a badonkadonk in one session. That's just not possible.
How many sessions, or it just depends on the person?
It just depends on the person and how they react to the silicone. How their body takes to the silicone once it's injected.
Okay. So did you know of any of your clients that had any complications?
I don't. Other than the female that went to the hospital, and that's how my entire case started, was because there was one female that went to the hospital. Actually, she had called me because she had gotten injections from me one time and had received injections from a transgender in Philadelphia. Okay. And so she started to have some issues, and I was the one who told her to go to the hospital. You know what I mean? Because listen, one thing I could never live with is if I killed someone or someone died. I mean, and I took that chance every time I did the injections. However, still, you're not thinking about, oh my God, what if they die? But you're thinking, God, please don't let anything happen to anyone that I'm doing this to. So when she got sick and she called me, I told her to go to the hospital. I'm like, go to the hospital because who knows? Unbeknownst to me at that time, it opened up a big investigation for me. She gave them
to disclose that information at the hospital about who did their butt injections?
I didn't tell her to disclose who did it, but I told her to let them know what she had done.
Okay.
So I guess, I don't know exactly what happened, but she ended up giving them my name and the transgender's name. Of course, the transgender, they couldn't find him. But because I had been doing it for so long, same phone number, never changed anything, because I truly was not that person.
So you weren't running like you.
Absolutely
you weren't,
not.
Like, it was like on the low, but you can find me.
Yeah,
you know where I'm at.
Absolutely. So it just opened up a big investigation, and then I ended up, going away for a while, and it was then that my life truly started to change.
How was that experience in prison?
Very humbling. I will say this. Would I want to do it over? Absolutely not. But I went to federal prison, so I was actually at the same camp that Martha Stewart went to.
Okay.
So, they call it Camp Cupcake. I mean, it wasn't a cupcake, but it wasn't like I was locked behind some prison bars. The feds kind of treat you nice, especially when you're in the camp. If you just want to walk off, you can. However, you will be facing an escape charge, but it's very laid back. But it was during that time that I started to, when you're in prison, you have time to do a lot of thinking. You can exercise, do all the things that you didn't do when you were out. So when I was taking time to learn about Kim, I started to think about what could have happened and what made me have such grandiose behavior to feel like I could just change someone's life with no medical training. So it was during that time that I sat down and I wrote my book. And I didn't even write the book to say, oh, when I go home, I'm going to make a lot of money, because anyone that's an author knows that it's very difficult to make money writing a book unless you just disclose a lot of things. And so I wrote the book, and it was actually a healing for me. So I came home with this whole different mindset. And people have asked me, so girl, now you go to prison and you want to advocate against silicone injections. I do, because it was during that time when I went to prison and came home, I started hearing about all of these women that were dying, because now it's so many people out there that are just doing any and everything. So then, yeah, of course now I want to advocate because I've had a chance to sit down and rationalize my thoughts, and say, well, God, there are so many other things that you can do now. So I am that person that advocates against silicone injections. I am that person that came home, and because I was in prison and saw so many women that were in federal prison with me that never received a visit, never received mail, because everybody knows somebody that's in prison or has somebody that knows there, right. Absolutely. Yeah. So when you're in federal prison, born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia, I was in prison in West Virginia, 9 hours away. I was just very blessed that my family could afford to come and visit me every 3 months. That's actually how I did my time. But there are women that were in West Virginia that left family, their kids in Florida, left their kids in Texas, and they could never receive a visit. And some of them did long times, like 8 years, 10 years, 12 years.
Wow. So you were in for 2 years?
For 17 months.
17 months. And so during that time, so your kids at the time, did they stay with family?
They did. So my two boys, they were grown. One was, I think he was 19, and the other one was 24, 25. And then I have a daughter that I adopted. And so at the time, she was 10, and it was a very difficult experience for her because she knows that she's adopted. So while I was dealing with that, she was dealing with, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? But my family took really good care of her, so I was very blessed.
What kind of conversation did you have to have with your kids before you actually went to prison?
Oh my goodness. So that was the most trying. My two boys, they knew what I did for a living. They knew. I would travel during the week, come home on Sundays. We were in church. My oldest son was the usher at church. My youngest son played the drums, and my daughter was on the praise dance team. And I was a youth minister at my church.
See, this is amazing.
Yeah. Church have to say?
Absolutely.
Before that, though, I think that the picture is you are normal. Like you were just living
to me,
life.
It was a job.
You are just you were just helping people. You had more money for your kids, and you could give them a better life.
Paid all the way through Tuskegee. He graduated from Tuskegee with not one. Well, he does have one loan, and that's because he failed 2 classes. And my thing was, hey, I'll pay for it, but if you fail, that's pay for it. Absolutely.
And so, she was being mom.
Yeah,
exactly. Just being mom. Yeah. The way that it's painted oftentimes is because you only read this is what happened, this is what she was doing, it was illegal.
You don't think that you're this kind of person. Actually, you just think that she knew what she was doing and it was illegal and it was wrong. So now she went to prison and she's trying to redeem herself. I think that's what a lot of people would think.
Absolutely, and I don't blame them because perception is everything. Exactly. And as a society, we're so quick to judge. And even when I wrote the book, I've had so many people tell me, well, why didn't you give the names of the celebrities? Because at the end of the day, when I was doing these people, I knew who they were, but they paid for a service. So why would I go and just exploit them for self-gain? That's not who I am. Could I make more money? Probably so. And the book probably would be on the bestsellers list, but that's not my goal. My goal was to share my story, to let people know about me, and just to discuss the risk of the silicone injections because of course I'm not going to lie and say I didn't know the risk, but the thing is a lot of people don't tell that are doing it now. They don't let women know the risks that are really involved. And so I feel like if I did not go through the prison situation, maybe I could have killed somebody. Maybe somebody would have died. And would I have been able to deal with that? Absolutely not. So I'm glad that things turned around for me. And, now I'm just on the opposite side.
On the other side. So, obviously you got some enlightenment, and that time for you was life-changing.
Yes.
So now that you have this opportunity to just kind of not only share your story, but I think that in many cases, somebody that hears this and has an understanding of who you are, what your thought process was, because there are a lot of people that probably have the same thoughts right now. I don't care what anybody says. This is what I want. I've always wanted this. I haven't had it, and I don't care if there's a risk, but maybe they should care. And you're able to tell them, like, look, let's be real about this.
Yeah, you know what's so funny? So I have a website up, www.Kimberly Smedley. That's my Facebook, IG, everything. But it's so amazing because I still have women that reach out to me about the injections. Okay,
wanting you to give them injections?
Absolutely.
Even after hearing all of this.
After hearing all of this, reading
Honestly,
my story, they still reach out.
Celebrities can't. Since she won't name those celebrities, she probably good.
Yeah, that's what
exactly
they always say.
say.
We're still hearing about you. Da, 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 da. But then there are those women that reach out to me because guess what? They're having issues now. They have the discoloration. Their butt feels like it has from other people.
Okay.
And so I'm the person now that's sending them to the doctors in Miami, the doctors in New York that specialize in the removal of silicone. Because here's the thing. The people feel like, oh, well, my butt is big, I'll just go have it taken out through lipo. That's a lie. Do you all remember when K. Michelle was just saying not long ago that she was
going to get it removed? Yeah,
it's not coming out. It won't come out because it's one of those things. If it's not bothering you, you don't bother it, because what happens is the silicone actually attaches itself to the muscle, and there's no way you can lipo that out. So yes, she may have lost a lot of weight, but guaranteed if you see her now, her butt is still huge because it's not coming out. There's no way to get it out. So if you have issues with it and complications, what happens is you have to go to someone that's qualified to remove it, and they actually have to go in, cut it out, and suction it out through a special technique. So once I learned that, I was like, oh my goodness, because okay, so last season on the reality show I'm on, From the Bottom Up, I actually started going to see doctors about having mine removed, not because I have issues, but because it's too big for me now. I don't like it anymore. So it was through those times that I learned, and I'm like, oh my God, really? I didn't know that, and I'm the one that was administering the injection, so I learned something.
So if you didn't know to tell people.
Absolutely.
Like, this is gonna.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's crazy. I'm just enlightened. I'm enlightened. But well, let's go to the show. Let's talk about the show a little bit, and then we'll talk about the book. Okay. So, From the Bottom Up, tell me about how did you get involved with the show? I read that Queen Latifah and Nikki Gilbert are involved. Yes,
absolutely. So I come home from prison equipped with a book. I hire a publicist because I'm like, oh my God, people are gonna want to hear my story. It didn't work out that way. So my publicist at that time, her name was Jonelle Witt. She's here in Atlanta. She's great, by the way. We just don't work together anymore, but she's a great person. She calls me up and says, listen, I need for you to put makeup on and meet me in Piedmont Park. I'm like, what? Okay. I put makeup on, meet her in Piedmont Park, and Nikki Gilbert comes up. And Jonelle was like, oh, this is Nikki Gilbert. Da, 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 da. Can you shoot a sizzle really quick? I'm like, a sizzle about what? She's like, well.
On the spot reel.
It was so on the spot because
you're going to be ready right now. Put this makeup on. Come out here.
And if you ever meet Jonelle, she would tell you that's exactly how it happened. And I think that if she had told me what it was about, I probably would not have done it, because Nikki was doing this thing about women that had lost everything and was starting over. Me, I'm fresh out of prison, and I'm so afraid of how people are going to perceive me anyway.
Right.
So now you're asking me to do something that could put me on TV. Well, anyway.
Well, and everyone also had only one side of your story. They didn't know. They didn't know your
Google,
side. Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's probably important to read your book, because if you Google information about you, all they see is about why you went to prison and everything
absolutely.
you did.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. They had me down for using paint. Then it was just a mess. But anyway, so I go and tape the sizzle, and the show gets picked up. And so I'm like, am I gonna do it?
Yeah,
and
were you a little apprehensive about it?
Very apprehensive. And so I ended up doing the show. And so first season, I was very reserved. I mean, there was one cast member, Stacey J. She worked my nerves every damn time we taped, because she was like, I just don't understand how someone could do that. But here, see me, I'm the type of person, because I truly am from the streets.
Right.
I have that whole street mentality.
So,
however,
Before you got here, he said he was going to ask you if you got the key to the streets.
And
Let
it
me
looks
tell
like you
you
do.
something. Yeah. So I was that person that was like, oh, if she said one more thing, I'd just go. So I held myself together first
So season one,
right?
you was like,
Season one, I was very laid back, didn't have much to say, because I was just trying to feel my way through it, you know, and like, oh my God, if I just act a certain kind of way, then people are going to judge me even more harshly. But what happened is, because she judged me so harshly, that made the public audience kind of draw to me, because they were like, she's so real and da-da-da-da. So it actually helped me to fall back. So now we're in season 2. And you know,
season 2 begins
October the 29th
Okay.
at 10 p.m. on Centric.
I will be watching.
Absolutely. Please watch. It's going to be really good. Season 1, it was 5 of us. Christine Beatty, who was involved in the scandal with the mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick in
Okay.
Detroit, the whole Texan
Yep.
scandal. Yeah, she's on there. And then, of course, Stacey J., who I just named, that was...
She worked in the mayor's office
She
here,
did,
right?
but she got a DUI. So she's sitting up judging me, and girl, stop it. At least I wasn't on the road trying to, you know, just purposely danger someone's life.
I've seen a little bit of Stacey's work before. That's all I got. I'm gonna leave it
That's
right there.
enough. Leave it right
Yeah,
there. We're going to be
seen a little
nice. I'm going to be nice. So, and then there's Christoph Wilson, who was on the Players Club. Everybody remembers her from the movie The Players Club. Ronnie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's on there, and I love her. She and I are very close. And Sarah Stokes from Making the Band.
Okay, I remember.
Yes.
I saw that.
Yeah, she's on there. That was all first season. So all of us are back, along with 2 new cast members. Shanita Foster, she was married to a football player, and
I
on
don't know if I know
Football
who that is.
Wives.
I'll look her up though.
She ain't.
Oh,
Don't worry
okay.
about it. No, I'm just kidding. Let me be nice. And then Maya Campbell. You remember Maya Campbell?
Yeah, I know.
When I tell you,
You know,
interesting.
you know who this-
You know I don't know.
Yes, you
I don't
do.
know names. I know
Let me
faces.
give you.
If I
I'm gonna
probably
make
see
it.
Yeah,
faces.
please go on and look her,
All these
because
people,
that's
I'm
my
like,
girl. I
In the
love
house.
her.
I know. Oh, her.
Yeah,
I
she
did know
she
her name
struggles
was Maya
with
Campbell.
some mental issues, but you know what? I will
she's
say
new this season.
She's new this season. Her and Shanita Foster.
Mm.
But I love Maya. I love her. Like, she is just, you know, she's a beautiful lady, and you know, she's just struggling with some issues, and she's there for a few of the episodes, and then she goes to get help for her issues. But I love her and wish her all the best.
Awesome.
Yeah, great girl.
Awesome. So this is season 2. It's on October 29th
29th at 10 p.m.
at 10 p.m. on Centric.
on Centric, Eastern Standard Time, 9
9
Central
Central.
Time.
All right. So what is it? How has your life changed becoming a reality star? What?
It hasn't.
Nothing has changed at all.
Honey, I just get a little bit of a paycheck, and listen, that's the entrepreneur in me. So I have a spa that's in Stockbridge. My spa is called All About Waxing and Threading. We specialize in body wax and threading, eyelash extensions, facials. What else do we do? Brow tinting. We do everything.
And she
there.
ain't got no back room for you to come get no injections.
Okay, no injections.
So don't come there
I
asking
don't
her
do
for
that.
it. She gonna
Listen,
say no.
absolutely. So that's in Stockbridge, right at Eagles Landing. So it's really good. So now the reality show. So this is how I look at it, right? I'm truly not that industry person. So I tend to shy away from getting caught up into, oh my God, I'm on TV, I'm a reality star. Because everybody knows that reality stars, unless you're on Housewives of Atlanta or you've really been on for seasons and made it up, you don't make money like that. It's not true. So what I look at it as,
FYI.
FYI.
If that's what you're aspiring to,
find something else to do. Okay, listen. So what I do, I don't work for TV. I let TV work for me. With that being said, I use reality TV as a platform to do the other things I'm doing, to talk about my nonprofit, which is connecting families against all odds. I share with you all about the that, and so to actually speak to women about failures and successes. And actually you hear so much about empowerment, but I like to say that before a woman can truly be empowered, she needs to be liberated, meaning set free. Women are held captive by so many things, whether it's family, bad relationships, being a single mom, or just feeling like they cannot succeed. I use my life and my story as a testament to share with women, to let them know that, listen, it doesn't matter where you are, you can get up. The thing is, you have to keep going. So that's what I use reality TV for. And of course, the little check, honey, that's just another source of income. Right. So I use it for that. So
that's a good way to look at it.
Absolutely.
That's
so
what's
tell
up.
us about your book.
Okay, the book is entitled The Backside of the Story.
Okay.
And the book actually talks about my journey through the black market world of silicone injections.
Okay.
I educate, I share my story, I talk about some of the people that I did that I feel like were significant, that made a difference in my life. It's a really good read. And then I talk about self-esteem, morals, and how I was able to free myself from my own mindset. Like I said, when I went to prison, I felt like, oh, well, I didn't do anything wrong, I ain't kill anybody, but guess what, I could have. And so the book is just a really good read. It was, like I said, I did it for me and for people to honestly know my side of the story. That's why I called it The Backside of the Story, so you can know my side.
You said that a couple times too, that I think that's interesting, because that to me, that shows that you've really reflected on this. Like, I didn't kill anybody. And people use that to justify a lot of things. Like, oh, well, I didn't kill anybody, but you could have.
Absolutely.
And I think getting to that point shows that you've considered, look, I did this, I made it out, but you might not. So it's so like a warning.
And I own it. You know what I mean? I own it. I keep looking at that picture that you have right there. So even when I did that website, my mind was still in a totally different place. So now you go on my website next week, that won't be there anymore, because I'm really evolving. I was doing this whole thing, madam, because that was a term of endearment that, my clients gave to me. A madam is not necessarily someone that owns a brothel or has a bunch of women prostitutes. A madam is, you have Madam C.J. Walker, Madam Tashad, and what it is a woman that has a unique taboo way of doing business. So I kind of was like, okay, madam, that's me. But now I even feel differently about that because of the negative condensation that goes with it. So I'm really just changing a lot of things about me and the way that I want to be perceived. So it's a work.
I can dig it.
So your book is already out, right?
It is out. You can pick up the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and I'm actually going to have it available on my website soon. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what's up. So let us know, because
I will.
I would love. I want to read it, actually.
Oh, well, I brought one copy. I'm so sorry I didn't.
We can share.
Okay. People say that, and then they're like, they ain't get a copy back. But definitely.
I mean, I see her like 20 hours a day, like either in person, that like in real life, FaceTime. After we get done, it's just.
Are you serious?
It's never ending.
Really?
I wish it would just stop, but it
no,
won't.
You don't. If it works, it works. She's looking like someday she wish it was.
Nobody in this world gets on my nerves more than him.
Are you serious?
Yes.
But it's all love.
It's very true.
Really?
It's all love.
Kiss on my nerves.
It's all love. I promise.
You hear what he's saying? He's saying it's all love, so he knows he gets on your nerves.
Yeah, he continues to do it.
He owns it. That's
everything,
a good thing.
all of it.
You do. Well, that's
so.
good.
How much does a book cost? Because
the
people
book
gonna be
is.
like,
hold on, I don't even know how much it is on Amazon.
But it's there.
It is
Look,
there.
y'all go search it and see.
Listen, it's not that much.
website.
Amazon kind of sets their own prices.
Right. Okay.
You know
so
what I mean?
We'll put it on. We'll put a link to it though on our website.
Thank you so
and,
much.
Of course, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here because, anytime that I can go and talk and feel comfortable around the people that I'm talking to, everybody doesn't have the same energy. Honey, I was on V103 struggling.
Well, I'm just
I can imagine.
Somebody down there is very judgmental, and I was like, hold on a second.
I was like, who is she? She did what?
The thing is, though,
now I feel like you like my auntie or something.
Everybody said,
and I feel comfortable enough asking you questions, and that's what I come into anything. I can't be anything but me. So even when I try to package it and be real formal with something, I just got real questions, and I think
appreciate
when you're
too,
like
though.
that, you get a real answer.
Yeah.
And I think people will watch this and they'll see that look, there's more to this. Is just not some.
It's more to the people.
Lady that was going around trying to make money, and it's crazy because you did make a lot of money.
I did make a lot of money.
Like I was reading like 1.5 million.
When you went to prison, or because I know you had to pay $25,000, right?
And then
$8,000 restitution.
Here I go again. Living like our folks do, taking a lot of trips, which I would not take back any of the travel, but would I take back some of the handbags? Because I've ended up having to sell. You got a $5,000-$6,000 handbag, and then you come home and have to sell it at a consignment store for $700-$800. Your heart is just like crushed. So I did have a lot of material things, but I lost a lot. I had legal expenses out of the behind. That's how I ended up only.
And that's really how they get you, because
they gonna get it back. And then I was audited by the IRS, so it was a lot that I lost. So the money that I did make over those years, it's fast. Fast money always goes fast. I don't care what anybody says, because guess what? The little money that I make now from running my business and doing other things, I'm like, oh, if I spend this amount of that, then I don't know how long it's gonna be before I get some more. So I've learned to be very humble and very frugal now. But during the time, I could go and make $10,000 in one day. So of course, if I'm making $10,000 in one day, then most of the time it would take two, depending on how hard I work. But so if I made 10, I'm going to the mall and I'm going to spend about 4 of that, because guess what? I already know next week it's about 20 more people that are going to be calling me in Detroit or in New Jersey or in New York. So it was just, I could make the money, but I spent it.
And you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I feel like that's such a danger. Money is such, it is so attractive.
Yes.
But it's so deceiving.
It really
people aspire to have more and more and more and more, and they think that it's going to solve all of their problems instead, and they don't ever consider that it's going to create more problems than they signed up for.
It does. And even when you're making it the legitimate way, and the more money you make, the more
I can tell you right now, I mean, telling Uncle Sam, bro, you could leave me alone. This is legit, and you want it all. Listen, he could chill.
They want it all, and then you can't make it all by yourself. So that means you have to have a team of people that you're working with. Remember when she said that you get on her nerves? Putting a team together, because I have people now that I have to work with. I don't like to say they work for me, because we really do work together. Putting a team together, dealing with different personalities, dealing with staff, all of that plays such a big part. So the more you're bringing in, the more you are truly dealing with headaches.
Right.
So it is a lot that goes within just trying to make the right decisions, and it's a lot. So, hey, I've not gotten all the way there yet, but I'm slowly working my way to the top, because
you're on your way, though.
Yeah, I like to believe I'm a money magnet, and people got to put you gotta speak that over your own life.
If you look,
you do.
That you attract money.
It will be. That's what I'm saying. No doubt. So,
yes.
Look. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to come back.
I loved being here, and thank you all so much. So I will definitely come back whenever you all want me to.
Absolutely. How do people keep up with you? You say Kimberly Smedley on everything?
It's listen,
everything.
IG Kimberly Smedley. Go and follow me. Facebook Kimberly Smedley, and then my website is Kimberly Smedley.
On your website, do you have any other places where you do any of your motivational speaking?
Well,
like
the speaking engagements, I'm working on putting some events together right now, so there will be an update probably like in 3 to 4 weeks. I'm working on doing some expos, and actually I'm getting ready to do a college tour of some of the colleges, and I'm so excited about that because I love speaking to the young women, because those are the and those are the ones that are dealing with a lot of the self-esteem issues,
and they need to know, because Blue Flame and Magic City is calling.
What you just said. Yes.
Right, get them. That's the age to get them.
It's crazy because they be like, look, these books cost, and
they do. That's the first thing. That's so true. I remember doing. I had this one client, and I went to her house, and she was a stripper, and she was like, "Oh, Miss Kim, you gotta follow me. I need to go put my car up." I'm like, "Girl, where you going to put your car?" Listen, she was hiding her car from the repo man. She wasn't going to pay her car note to pay me so she could, go and make some more money, because she felt like if she did the injections, it was going to, make her get more money because of her clientele. I was just like, girl, let me just go on and do it for you, because I was like, you can't be hiding your car. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
That's why remember I said, I always say I'm intrigued by the way people come to the conclusion that they come to. Like, explain to me your thought process of how you thought, because if I just hide my car and I just go, I'm going to just pay you. I ain't got money to pay them. Yeah. But I'm going to make more money because my butt going to be bigger.
Then I'll pay them.
So that makes sense in your head.
In her head, it made sense. And I was just like, girl, pay your car note. Let me just do it for you. Because I was like, then what kind of person would I be to just really, even though I'm providing the service. I took your car note money. And I know it. So certain things, I try to have some morals, and integrity. Now I truly am a person of integrity, so I try to stick with that.
You know what? Own that, because a lot of people, especially with the media and the pettiness of society these days, blogs, whatever, radio shows, whatever, people are just petty, and they don't believe that people can change or that people can be redeemed. But you just said, I am a woman of integrity. I believe that, and just own that. Yeah. Nobody can take that away from you. And despite what's written, if you know who you are, that's what matters. And I think that's what people need to hear, because there's people that are like, look, I'm going to just keep messing up because everybody thinks this is what I am anyway.
Exactly.
No, and that's an excuse. Somebody. That's an excuse. And, integrity is doing what's right even when no one's watching. Right. And so that's something that I now live by, and I'm instilling that in my daughter. My sons have seen me live a double life. Even my daughter, here I am doing illegal things, and then I'm in church, but I can't take that back. All I can do now is show them that I'm somebody different. One of my sons, he's a trip. He's, rebellious as ever, but can I get mad at him? Even though I can say, well, you know what? I did all this so you don't have to do this. But he saw me live a double life for so long. So now all I can do is try to let him see the change in me, and hopefully he'll change.
Find his way.
How were they accepting of you when you got out of prison? Like them, the church? Everybody.
Oh, I didn't even go back to the church. I was so embarrassed. Even though the pastor called me and let me know, that they did not judge me, I was just so embarrassed. I'm in another ministry now, and they know about, my lifestyle, but I dealt with a lot because I was that person. Honey, listen, I was the youth leader at my church. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though I was doing what I was doing, I'm so passionate about kids, but how can you, so that's something I must admit I did not go and make all the way right.
But I think, and I've been saying this a lot lately, but there's really no manual. There's not a life manual for people. That's why everybody's on such a different path. So you find your way and you found your way by what you went through.
Yeah.
And so don't take it away. That doesn't take away from the passion that you have for these kids and that you have for kids. And it doesn't take away what you put into them, regardless of what you had going on. And that's true for anybody that's going through something and dealing with something else. People, and I believe your kids, even though they saw you living a double life, the good things that they saw, they remember that. They'll pull from that.
They do remember. And then when I'm on Facebook and I see, it's a trip how the people in prison now, they're able to see you on Facebook. So some of the women that I left in prison and some of them that have since come home, it makes me feel good when I'm doing my thing and they see me, because they're like, oh, you did everything you said you were going to do. Because I used to be in prison saying, I don't know what I'm going to do, but honey, I ain't taking no jailhouse pictures. I'm not doing this because y'all not going to be putting them up on social media, because when I get home, I got something to do. And I was just saying that not knowing what I was going to do. You know what I mean? So now they look and they say, oh, you said you were going to do good. And so that makes me feel happy. I'm not doing the best, but I'm doing something that they can look and see me actually moving. And hopefully I'm giving them hope. So that's what it's about.
I definitely think you
I believe you are.
Auntie Kim,
yeah, thank you. Oh, you're so sweet.
All right, Kimberly Smedley.
So much.
Follow her on Instagram, everywhere else, KimberlySmedley.com. And we thank you for coming through.
And thank you for
You've
having
been amazing.
me. Thank you.
All right, her book, The Backside of the Story, is available on Amazon, and it's going to be on our website, and we got a copy. We'll tell you all about it. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back with more of the Shake Up. Keep it locked right here, 1-844-99-SHAKE. Next time you're in here, we'll let some people call up here and talk to you.
Right, I forgot about that.
we were selfish today, but it's I forgot. It is. I forgot that.
We didn't even think
it's
about
all
it.
good. All right, keep it locked right here. More of the Shake Up next.